kind of what he said on breakdown. And don't forget, last year there was the rule change where more analysts were allowed on the football field. One being Ryan O'Hara, who coaches the quarterbacks, and I think those things kind of took a lot of pressure and load off Napier last year. Which, again, we keep seeing these changes in college football, and it's like, hey, why aren't you making these changes? Well, each year they keep making my job a little bit easier,
Yeah.
right? Which allows for me to do a lot more than what I wasn't doing. So I'm hiring these guys. What I noticed where I was missing to allow for me to continue to do what I'm doing. Like there's increments. That's how I assume he's looking at it. I know people don't like to hear that or what have you, but where my head's at is like LFGM just said, like this is what's happening. So you can be pissed about it and complain about it because here's the thing. You know this and I know this. The guy starts losing games. You're calling for his head. He knows that. I know that. Everybody knows that. The reality of it is, even if he did hire an OC, all that would do would fill your appetite for this offseason. Because the moment they lose one game, we're right back where we started. Then you're gonna be pissed about
Yeah.
the person who we hired. So all this noise of like it's an unserious program, you'd feel it'd be serious for about 5 minutes, and the moment that things didn't go the way you wanted it to go, you'd find a way to blame Billy, or you'd say that he's still calling the plays. Like he's in a lose-lose situation until he starts winning football games. That's just a matter of fact.
Yeah, no, you're correct. And then, like he said, well, and I've been feeling, I'm not gonna just say like he said, you don't want to change too much right now. We're right at the cusp of going in this thing, getting into the playoffs, and these guys grasping everything that he's been putting down so far, and it's been turning on. Why change it all right now? So I like the fact that it's somebody in-house that may be getting that nod, that knows exactly what he wants to do, knows the type of offense he wants to run. We're not bringing in a whole new type of offense, which is important as far as getting an offensive coordinator. Not at this moment, we don't need somebody that's outside to come in and try to change everything around, because if it don't work, you have to try to fix it. You know what I mean? If you need to try to make court, we don't have that type of time, but we have way too much talent to be trying things, throwing darts at the wall right now. Stay with what we got, run it up. We got great talent. Everybody's know the system. They know the expectations. Let's go smash some people, knock them in the mouth, and take care of business.
This is where my bone's going to pick. This is where my fight and my gloves are going to come out here in just a minute. Because I'm going to talk about that. Is everyone has
My
an
bad.
opinion about it, and I'm tired of biting my tongue a little bit. I feel like I've been reasonable about it. But here's what he said on Breakdowns podcast: is it helps us from an identity standpoint as a team. Him calling plays. I think you're part of the inner workings from an installation script standpoint, and then how game day goes. Look, I think the big thing we've been fortunate with is that we've got a really good offensive staff. You think about the position coaches that we have. I was really pleased with Russ Callaway and the more responsibility he took on this year from a leadership standpoint, and I'm excited about that part. Russ did a great job running the meetings, did a good job organizing the staff, and certainly in the coordinator type role as an exceptional young coach, that is where I think he took a step forward. He also compliments Ryan O'Hara and John Donovan, help from a situational football standpoint. He did a great job too. What we were just talking about is these guys are starting to expand their roles. Now, here's where my bone gets to pick, and I might run into a wall here, but I don't think so. Ryan Grubbs was the offensive coordinator for Seattle last year. Got let
Mhm.
go, got fired. You can argue till you're blue in the face about why he should or shouldn't have got let go, but the guy went for 1 year, got cooked. That news broke, and everyone was like, "Oh, this Billy should go after him." For anybody that doesn't know, Ryan Grubbs was the offensive coordinator for the Kalen DeBoer at Washington. Okay, the year prior to that was essentially going to come to Alabama. That was the original thought, and then Seattle came knocking, and he goes, "This is an opportunity. I'm going to take it." PrizePicks, and we are
Oh.
we are we're at the end of the football saga, and I do see one up here. Okay, a little. It's not the sexiest one, but I've been burned a little too much. I have to take it easy on this one. And here's what we got going on until February 9th. I want to read this. Make sure I get it right. Big game is almost here. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with PrizePicks, the best play to win cash while watching the game. PrizePicks is also giving away a free pick for the big game. You see right there with Patty Mahomes, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. We know there it is, more than half a yard right there. If you're correct, I will be on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Also, check out the promo tabs to tell any of Super Sweet Millie winners big game lineups. If you tell a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you will have a chance to win a split of 1 million in promo funds. So, getting on that, feeling pretty good. Saquon has been absolutely eating. Obviously, we got the freebie with Patty and AJ. I went the other route last time. I went with Avante, but AJ cooked. He's been reading his book. He's dialed in. Download PrizePicks. Use the code Hightop. When you play your first $5, you get back 50 bones, boys and girls. Okay? Hammer it home. And look, just because football's going to be over, March Madness is right around the corner. And to be honest with you, basketball is an absolute blast. And I know there's a guy on this show right now, cooks when it comes. He more than Billy and play calling, cooks when it comes to the NBA. So use the code Hightop, PrizePicks, run your game. Does that and then fails, doesn't fit, however you want to look at it. I'm not even going to throw the bone, but after 1 year gets the boot and then just runs right back to DeBoer. And people took this as if like Billy should have took, and again, at this point, it's exhausting that he should have went after this and all that. But let's take a step further. I won't even get in. I won't even take that bait. Okay, they're looking at Ryan Grubbs as if he's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. If you look at his history, Ryan Grubbs, he's been with DeBoer the entire time. This is him and DeBoer are handcuffed all the way back to Sioux Falls. Like that's how far Sioux Falls, Eastern Michigan. He has followed DeBoer all the way through and through. This is a product. This is a tree from DeBoer that they have come up together. What's your point, Sheldon? Well, we criticized Napier on not making big time moves and promoting the guys within. Well, that's how DeBoer got to where he's at. Now, you could argue that DeBoer is better coach, and you're not. That's a whole other conversation for another day. I'm not here to argue about DeBoer and Billy. I'm simply talking about growing the guys around you and entrusting those guys. And builds up Ryan Grubbs. Ryan Grubbs feels like, I got this. I don't need you anymore, Daddy. Goes to the NFL and goes, I'm sorry, Dad. Can I come back home? I'm not ready to move out just yet. DeBoer goes, come back to Dad. I need you too. I need you too, buddy. Okay, I can't do this without you either. We're two peas in a pod. We're gonna be locked at the hip forever. Because I don't think that offense was too sexy last year for Alabama. So my point of it is that we're looking at this guy like, again, Chip Kelly, that's another animal. I mean, that guy went to a national championship team, coached at the NFL, was a head coach here, like a ton of experience, became his own, did his own thing, and then ultimately, really has now kind of finding his stride. He's in his second wind here, right?
For sure.
Kind of almost like Andy Reid. Like, think about Andy Reid. Guy's been around the league forever. He's now hitting that stride like a mofo. But think about Andy Reid back in the day. He was kind of just this big goofy guy that just was trying to find his footing. You know what I mean? Belichick, another one, took a minute to find his footing. Like these guys that just kind of stick around and hang into it. And now Chip is starting to find his rhythm. I don't know if Grubbs could be getting there, but it's not like he's just. I don't believe that he is. That was my frustration with it. It's like, where is this excitement coming from? It's like because of the like. It's just we want an appetite of a new offensive coordinator. We know that he did well at Washington. Prior to that, it isn't like his experience is just some sexy galore, like boom, 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 boom. The same reason I questioned, and we all questioned, I'm not alone on this, when Alabama hired DeBoer. There wasn't a lot of smoke there. I know he was successful everywhere he went. Sioux Falls, Eastern Michigan, Fresno State. I mean, it's not like we're talking about top tier schools here. Okay?
For sure.
I'm just saying.
I think everybody just too much excitement sometimes can be bad. Everybody's all around to see the roster. We got DJ Lagway. There's so much talent, and they try to find the easy out and say, "Oh, if we just change this, we'll be all the way there." No, why don't we just work on what you got? Everybody always want to throw away everything and go to the new shiny thing, and have no idea how it's going to work. You don't know if these players going to get along with the guy, what his personality like. We don't know none of that stuff, and just want to insert somebody into something. You know what I mean? Instead of working with what we got. But that's just how.
There's a great quote came from like it was a redneck mentality, which I love. Is that we all want nice things and we want cool things and we want good things. And what we fail to realize that you can constantly buy new things, but that doesn't mean it's going to be better. Where you learn to grow and make your things nicer and better is to be able to do it yourself and build it and / fix it yourself. For example, you saw what I put out in the living room.
Yeah.
Right? Like that made that my house, and for us, right, it elevated our living space versus just going out and buying a new house. Like that isn't always the fix. Sometimes it's growing and building. Again, I know not the greatest analogy, but that's people. It's not sexy, right? Taking out the wood, cutting it up. It's not sexy when it's happening. You're kind of, trust me, buddy was stressing when I was building it. you're kind of wondering if it's gonna work. You got it in your head. Is it gonna translate as you're picturing it up here? I drew it on
Mhm.
a piece of paper. My wife's looking at it. She's like, I don't. This isn't what this ain't the same thing, baby. I was like, I gotta trust me. And thank goodness she trusted me. But if she would have just fired me after 2 years, I mean, I don't know if I would have got it. You know what I'm saying? So good things take time and they got to build it up. I feel like we're kind of beating a dead horse a little bit with this, but Billy likes to keep the. I think at this point, he just loves being in the
He
news.
like it.
He
He like it.
does. He does. He's like, they're couldn't do complacent. They're starting to get a little. Let's piss him off a little bit.
Yeah, rile him up a little bit. Yeah, cause that came out. I didn't think he would make that announcement or just pop up on the podcast. You know, deflating people hopes, especially knowing our fan base, man. But it's cool that he got it out the way now, so it won't be any rumblings any
Oh no,
longer.
it
Though,
will be. We'll
just
circle back. We got SEC Media Day. They'll ask about it again. Oh, it'll be back. He'll get asked on Radio Row. 1010XL will ask him about it. He'll hammer home on it again. He's like, honestly, I demoted Russ after the spring game. I don't
yeah,
even need
right.
these
Yeah,
guys
that
anymore.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like, he's like,
that part.
come June, he's like, I'm calling defensive plays too. I'm
Yeah,
trying something new this year.
I saw Swoder post talk about one day before the first week he gonna tell him I'm calling plays now. I was like, yeah,
Look,
yeah.
he keeps telling us we're calling plays, and everyone's like, what? Like, he's told us 6 times he's calling plays. I don't know. It's fun. I mean,
It's
it
new.
keeps.
It's new every time he says he's calling plays. It's brand new.
It's like the Beyonce meme. Like, I'm gonna post that when I get off.